Hi guys, welcome to Fintacts podcast, a podcast that is geared towards your financial literacy, your financial needs, your financial awareness. We talk about things that are very important to you financially. We address issues that are very important to your financial well-being. So on today's episode of my podcast, what am I going to be talking about today? It's something that actually people talk about in the financial world. It's something that most people are familiar with, but it's also the same thing that some people are not also familiar with. So what is it called? It's called net worth. I'm going to be talking to you on this episode about what net worth is, how you can actually calculate your net worth, and why it's important for you to always analyze and understand your net worth. So, number one, what is net worth? You might want to ask. Net worth actually, it's very simple. It means taking into account the difference between your liabilities and your assets. When you want to understand your net worth, it's very important and critical that you understand what your liabilities are and what your assets are. You might want to ask me, okay, what's an asset? An asset is something that you own. It could be cash. You have cash. That's an asset. That's something you own. Something that belongs to you. It could be a car, it could be a house. These are all assets. It could be a landed property. All these are assets because they belong to you. Vice versa, and a liability is actually something that you owe to someone. So it could be a mortgage loan that you took from the bank with the hope of repaying this loan. That's the liability to you. It could be, of course, cash that you borrowed from a friend or someone close by to you, and with the intention or with the hope of repaying back this loan. This also can be categorized as a liability to you. All these are forms of liabilities. So, understanding your net worth, you need to be able to differentiate between your assets and your liability. So, when you subtract your total assets from your liability, the difference is what you call the net worth. So it's very critical to always know your net worth, because sometimes people get themselves involved in some certain situation where they actually operate with a negative net worth. So what do I mean by a negative net worth? A negative net worth is when your liabilities actually outweighs your assets. So what you spend it's more like your expenditures, your daily or monthly expenditures are actually more than what you earn, like what you own, which is really, 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 really bad. It's really, really bad. You have to have a structure in place where you have a clear and precise financial principle that is effective and useful to you. So many people don't do this. I always ask people, do you have a financial checklist, a financial planning checklist? Because it's very important to have that, because you know exactly what you're spending your money on. You know exactly what you own. You know exactly what you owe. You know exactly how your financial activities are working and how effective they are to you. So it's very important, like when evaluating your net worth, not to have a negative net worth. Always try as much as possible to have a positive net worth. What I mean by that is trying to make sure that your assets, what you own, outweighs what you are owing. Because you see so many people, they get themselves involved in a lot of debts, and it's very difficult for them to come out from those debts because they are not practically using effective tools and principles that are going to help them, to be able to get out of that debt. So it's very important to always have in mind your net worth. This is why it's important. Your net worth is something you always have to evaluate from time to time. Get to know what are the things that you're investing in, your investments, because all these are assets to you. These are things that are important to you. And don't just get to involve yourself in unnecessary debt. Try as much as possible to make sure that you reduce and manage your debt as good as possible, in order to let you, or you to be able to get the best out of your financial activities. This is very important. So this is what my episode of this podcast is actually addressing today: net worth. If you have any question whatsoever that you would like to ask me, I will be very open to get your questions You could send me a direct message on my Instagram handle, Talk to Gabo, or you could as well send a direct message on our official page on Facebook. It's called Fintacts. Just go on the search engine on Facebook and you just type Fintacts. Fintacts. And then, of course, we'll always respond to you and to your questions. Thank you so much for being a part of this episode. And until I see you again in my next episode, cheers!